Target 3 is a vicious one. Crazy crosswind. We've actually got an old runway right here, so it is wide open, and you can see all the flags are freaking on full tilt. This is a 101-yard ram bedded underneath the tree, so you have shadow across the target, so you're not going to have very good visual. The fact that he's up there in a bunch of slate rock just blends him in. So your pin's gonna be as big as the target. It's gonna be blended in. Now what I did, and a pointer for you, is judging this wind, right? I mean, I'm talking stiff wind right there. So I came up, watched the previous group shoot, and everybody was missing to the right of that ram, hard right. So I'm gonna do my best to just factor in the rule of average. If there was 5 people and all of them were drifting at least 1.5 feet, some of them didn't hang the back end of that target, some were all the way in the back end of that target. That means for me, I'm probably gonna need to plan for at least 12, possibly 16 inches of drift. I've got a stiff pressure on my back here, so my footing is gonna be critical. And people ask all the time about shooting in the wind, and it's all about commitment. Just getting that thumb acquisition, and then once you're there, do your best to stabilize, trust that float. But on these longer shots, it's your peep sight, front sight visual that's so critical. Checking your 6 and checking your 3. That way, if you have any gap, if you have extra space out of your scope housing, or if you're closing that off, that's gonna magnify huge down there. So sight is set. I'm gonna have to aim with that amount of wind. I'm literally gonna be aiming off the target in the front of the brisket to try to drift one that far in. We've got a stiff wind, and honestly, you come away with this with an 8, you are going ahead of most of the field. Freaking money. I'm talking, I had to aim literally in the green leaves to the left of that target and watch that arrow go up, swoop all the way over, and land in there. But man, oh man, you shoot a 10 or a 12 on a target like this, and if you're out here for score, that could be the difference of the whole tournament right there. But what a cool shot. You can see when that arrow's climbing, it's got more wind than even where we were. These things are on full tilt. Any type of ribbon, any type of grass like this is an indicator. And in a hunting situation, you might not have ribbons like this on full tilt, but you do have the silhouette of the trees on the horizon, and you can see how much those things are bending, just like having a fish on a rod. So in a hunting situation, which 101-yard ram bombs aren't going to be happening, but you can see that's a freaking sweet shot right there. It's a dead ram for one, but to give you an idea, I came up, put my pin there, and I was holding just under the white of the face here in line with the height. So I've got about 16 inches of drift. And honestly, if it would have been a second or two different, could have been all the more just to push me that much further left. But look right here, shrapnel. Look at all the shrapnel to the left. Everybody's pounding over here. It's just an indicator. People knew it was windy. But once that arrow got up and over, it was way more windy than anybody factored. Pumped.